Alex Garland's Civil War movie wasn't just a movie. It was a warning. Look around the United States today. We feel more polarized now than since the 1960s. Everyone is so divided. It's so divisive. It's gotten very dangerous. It's the us versus them mentality. When I went to see this movie, it was last year. I thought, going into this movie, I didn't know what to expect, but after watching it, the whole movie, which I thought was brilliantly done, Alex Garland hit this one out of the park. It was terrifying. It was honestly the most scary movie that I've ever watched. I mean, you have horror movies, of course, that are scary movies, but this was actually realistic. Every element in this movie, I thought that I was actually looking around the United States. And now, fast forward a year later, it seems like we're there. Like we have so many forces dividing the people. Everyone lives in their own little bubble. No one wants to communicate with each other. And so it's just more polarized. You're either in this tribe or that tribe. And this movie here was terrifying because it showed different states as territories. This isn't a big spoiler. If you've watched this movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's just the premise of the movie. There's territories. And in this movie, the president was essentially a dictator. And it was him and his administration against other provinces, other territories. But what's really dark about this movie is how realistic it is. You have these reporters on their quest for the truth. They're in New York City, but they have to get to D.C. to see this big speech, I believe, from memory, that the president was going to have. So they have to get to D.C. to be there in person. They get the scope of the speech. And so they go through backwoods America. They go through, of course, from New York City down through Pennsylvania, through Virginia. I think Charlottesville was one of the stops. And you see how divided the communities are and how certain people are treated because either they're a part of a different ethnic group or appear to be a part of a different religion that isn't the mainstream in the United States. So this movie was truly terrifying. And I look at the past week that's happened here with the, we have the school shootings and we have this right-wing-ish podcaster, Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to get political here. This assassination and one side saying, why aren't you giving my side enough attention? And the other side saying, why aren't you giving us attention? And I just feel like it's really exploded and made this movie more relevant today than ever before. When I first saw this movie, people didn't see this coming like I did. I was like, this movie is like now. I fear that next year or in the next couple of years, it's going to be like this. And sure enough, with the way people are talking, with the way people are going into their tribe and embracing tribalism, the movie is here without it being there just yet. We're at the beginning phases of what took place in this movie. So if you know this movie, you know what I'm talking about. I want to know your thoughts on this movie and how prevalent it is in today's America. Because over the last few days, you either had to be sympathetic to one group or the other and not sympathetic for the whole process as a whole. Like take a middle position, if you will. Yes, it's bad that there was, of course, a terrible school shooting, multiple school shootings, the assassination of 2 Minnesota lawmakers in their homes, and even this podcaster who spread rhetoric that you may even disagree with didn't deserve to be taken out / assassinated. And so it's just gotten so pulverizing. And you got some people saying he deserved it or he's the next Messiah. It's just weird. Like some people are calling Charlie Kirk a prophet, and the other people are saying he deserved it. Like some people, not all people, some people. These are radical people. It's just like, where am I? Is this isn't the country I was brought up to believe in. This was not the United States that we envisioned and get taught about in school and through our history books and textbooks. And I know that some of that's propaganda anyway to boost up, American exceptionalism. But never in my life did I see the movie Civil War being more prevalent now in terms of where we're going and what could happen. Now, I hope it doesn't end up like the events that took place in Civil War because I'm telling you, not a big spoiler alert, But eventually there's a scene at the White House. I'll just leave it at that. When they get to that White House, that was super intense. And when I was in the theater, I noticed how loud it was. Like, the special effects were top tier in this movie. It was so loud. And I'm just like, wow. I mean, and there's not one boring, dull moment in the DC White House scene. Not one dull moment. And what this movie did show, let's get to the movie aspect of it. It showed the depths of disparity that people will do just to survive. It just shows how cruel humans can be to each other, just to get by, or just because they're following orders. Some people don't want to take in compassion and empathy from others, the thing that you're supposed to do, the thing that you envision people to do. And, the true journalists out there who actually are covering these events in life, whether it be the war in Gaza that's going on or different famines throughout Africa, these are some real heroes. The ones who are doing it for the right reasons and not for clout. This movie was great from a story standpoint. I thought the acting was good. I think that it was a wake-up call to a lot of Americans. Some people did not take this movie serious at all, and some people argue that it was boring. And they were mad because it didn't show why we were having the Civil War. And if you're an American living, even when this movie came out, it's clear that you're looking at the country around you. That's how we got to where we are. Look around. We're pulverized. We have groups embracing tribalism. It's just like, what did you expect? Look around. You don't need to be spoon-fed every single moment about why the country is the way that it is. Just look around. And so I thought that this movie was more prevalent now than ever before. It's terrifying, and this is a wake-up call. If you have never watched the movie Civil War, then you are truly missing out on what I consider to be the scariest movie ever made. Now, that's not a knock at the horror genre. I love The Exorcist. I thought it was way ahead of its time in 1973. I think that A Nightmare on Elm Street, if you're a child, is terrifying. Chucky, It, if you're a kid. But as an adult, this movie is super realistic. It can show you what's to come and what's to happen if you don't wake up and change as a society. This movie was super terrifying, and I think you need to watch it because everything that happened in this movie, it seems that in real life now, we are in the beginning phases of what's to come. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm telling you, this is a wake-up call. Watch Civil War if you haven't already. I believe it's on HBO Go now. I think it's HBO now or HBO Max. They changed it. It was Max. Now they changed it back to HBO Go, I believe, or HBO Max, because Max made no sense. That's a whole different story for a different day. But it's on the HBO app. If you have that app, I'm pretty sure it's still on there. If not, I apologize. But it always has been on there leading up to this point. Civil War by Alex Garland, ahead of its time, a wake-up call to America, and where we're headed if we don't wake up now, realize where we're at, start learning from ourselves, start learning from tribalism, and try to embrace compassion and love among one another. Or this is going to be our real life. So check this movie out if you haven't watched it already. I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Civil War. I'm curious to know. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, please feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, where I plan on talking more about movies, books, pulp culture, and different events happening around the country. Thanks for watching.